IVM.
If you like poker, and that's Poker, then this is the show for you. Mera Kaam Poker with Azim Banatwala, great comedian, belly dancer and superb theologian. Also Peter, we don't know anything about him. Mera Kaam Poker. New episodes out on the IVM podcast website, app or wherever you get your podcasts from. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
As a young boy being cricket crazy, I've often wondered if Rana Ayyub and Rana Ayyub had a child, would they call the child Rana Ayyub? Well, she's here and she's not their child. Cyrus Says.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Yeah, here on Cyrus Says, I've just come back from a place called Udaipur, which is a big lake and a couple of bungalows. And I must say, I've experienced this very often at airports. Udaipur was wonderful when they announce clearly that people with wheelchairs, infants, business class and seats 1 to 10 are supposed to come to the fore. Everybody is 1 to 10, everybody is wheelchair, everybody has infants and everybody is business class. It's amazing. Only in our country there's no sense of order. It's never going to improve. Why do we bother with these announcements? Just say it's open and let them charge, because that's the Indian way. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus Says.
Alright, with us is Rana Ayyub, who's an award-winning journalist, a serious journalist who's taken on the biggest names in this country. Successfully, I might say. And now she's stuck in this silly show with me in a small studio somewhere in Khar, but opposite a lovely restaurant which gives the best kebabs. That we'll talk about later.
Alright, sure.
Very good
Sounds
kebabs.
interesting.
My problem, Rana, is, firstly, what kind of name is Rana? May I ask?
Rana is not the Rajasthani Rana. You know, the people
You
come
must
to
have
me and
heard this
say,
all your
Rana,
life,
mujhko
yeah.
Rana ji maaf karna.
Yeah.
It's not one of those. It's Persian. It's Persian for beauty.
Is it like the Pakistani fast bowler Rana Naved?
No, it's not. This is Rana. That's again the Rajasthani Rana. This is the Persian Rana. Understand the beauty of it.
Okay.
It's
So
Rana.
How do you pronounce it differently?
Rana.
So if you came second, would you be runner-up? Don't ask. So sorry, I'm so sorry.
Bad one.
This is where you've come. In your entire journalistic career, this is probably the most horrific moment.
Well, I'm just. This is going to get worse from here.
Yes.
Okay.
But I want to clear the name up, because I think if people don't know who you are, but they know your writing.
For the longest time, I get all those reviews on my book saying, Mr. Ayyub, it was a pleasure reading your book. I mean, you are great stuff that you write.
So
I mean,
you spend
it hurts me.
Your whole day just correcting the gender.
I think now they have my picture. Now they have my picture on social media, so now they can connect that it is actually a girl.
So Rana,
Yeah.
is there a pet name?
No, it's actually the given name. My
can say
pet name is worse. I'm not even going to tell you what my pet name is.
No, please. You can say I'm uncomfortable calling you Rana. It's going to take us 15 minutes to get through
my
that.
pet name is something that every Indian household has. Sonu.
This is what I love about India. This is what makes us truly special. There is never a connection between the nickname or pet name and the name. There is never.
Ever.
Have you ever met a bunty? There's nothing. His name is like Sabarjeet. There's no connection.
So yeah,
So
Sonu and Nimmi.
Nimmi.
Because when I was born, I was about 1 kilo and 100 grams, and the only thing that was visible to the nurse was my eyes. And he said, "Iski aankh to bahut badi Nimmi actors ki tarah hai." So they call me Nimmi.
Oh, that's the connection.
That's the connection. Sorry, it's quite
So we have to start because now we have Nimmi, Sonu, and Rana, who is a woman because it's Persian. What does Rana mean in Persian?
Beauty.
Farsi. Beauty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A prince in India and in Iran, it's beauty. Okay, enough of that. Now let's get to there's a huge body of work that you have. There are so many things that you're famous for, but let's go in order. Okay, tell us a little bit about your beginning, your background, where you're from, and how do you get into this let's call it journalism, because today journalism has changed completely. People shouting and screaming from English news channels, a little different from what we thought were journalists. But let's start at the beginning.
I'm a misfit in the present scenario. I mean, because every editor at this point of time is a consulting editor. I mean, most of us who had a practicing and respectable job. I mean, I've been jobless since 2013. Happily so.
Right here, the people. This is your family now. We're all jobless.
This is so overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a minute.
मैं alternate करता है बार-बार. I'll keep changing
it. This is overwhelming. Okay, give me some time to get over this.
Sonu, tell us more.
So, I was raised in. I mean, my father was a journalist. He was with the Blitz. He was a
Rusi Karanja?
Rusi Karanja's blitz.
loved
Yes,
him.
see, I have
Yeah.
a Parsi connection
You got
there.
that bulldog attitude, huh?
Totally.
That's how you take on all these big names and...
Is
You
it?
got to have that... What is that word in English?
That's a connection.
Huh?
Gusto.
Gusto. Get out of the place.
It's a nice word.
I'll get a new nickname for you. Huh?
Gusto.
I was thinking more like, the not giving up word.
Bravado.
Like Winston Churchill had. What is the right word?
I don't
not
know.
bravado, idiot.
I wasn't born.
I have words in my...
To go on without giving up, to fight the good fight, huh?
Yes, so where were we?
We were fine until Naveen interfered.
we were at
We went to
Winston
Churchill and everywhere, yeah.
So, yes.
Your dad was a journalist.
My dad was a journalist, and we had he was a part of the progressive writers movement. So these writers and poets would be home almost every alternate day. And I was a shy kid, an introvert, who went to a girls' school, a girls' junior college, a girls' degree college, a
Where's
girls'
this?
post-grad college, everything in Bombay.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I was that kind of a...
So, is it fair to say Sonu Nimi had never seen a boy?
No, and you get that, right? Yeah. So
You're painting a picture of being pushed into girls' school, girl train, girl this, girl that.
I don't know. That was me, I guess. But I was a shy kid.
But you didn't think of journalism, even though these poets and writers
I
were in
did
and
not.
out.
I did not. Basically, I wanted to be a doctor. All right, like all good families want their daughters to be a doctor and the son to be an engineer, IAS officer.
They give up on the son by age 5 normally.
Yeah,
huh?
I think. So I gave my CET and the result result was -5. And then I
Wow.
sunk low in my chair and I said, dude, I can't do this. And then I said, bhai, kya kar sakte hain aur? And then I took a year off from studies, did my graduation in English literature, got bored.
Where?
Sophia's again.
Oh, wow, where my mother and my wife went. But just record
See,
that.
quite an illustrious legacy. The
Both above her in years, but that's another story. Yeah.
Well, and then I decided to take a year off, and then of course I think the creative juices started
What is
flowing.
this year off? People are so lucky.
I
Me and
am a
Naveen are
privileged
working since
lot.
we were 14 years old. Which is right to against exploitation, by the way. It's there in the constitution.
I was never exploited.
I
but
was. Huh.
oh, yeah.
Nimi doesn't care.
So yes, and then I decided to just give journalism a shot. I joined a couple of Hindi news channels and almost
Is
lost
your
hope.
dad shadow there or with you?
No,
and
he's
thinking, I
not.
want to be like my dad.
No, he was never there. I mean, after a point of time, I think when I told him that I wanted to be a journalist, he said, "Are you
Disappointed.
serious?" He said, "Are you serious?" I said, "I've never seen any of these journalistic streaks in you, but yeah, you could try." He said, "But you have done your English literature. How about trying to, get a D.Ed or a B.Ed and pass your net set and be a professor in a college or be a school teacher?" That was very cliched.
So in terms of income, they were thinking journalism is bringing less to the table than teacher.
I think they thought she's such a shy kid. She would be such a misfit in
You don't appear to be shy at all. I'm intimidated by you.
Really?
Yeah.
This is my
What is
professional
the
achievement. This is my biggest professional achievement. If I've
But
intimidated
you're saying you were very shy, but
I was.
there's nothing shy about you.
There has been.
Who's changed?
I've changed. People change. People evolve. I've evolved.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish I one day evolve. It's making me feel very bad here. Huh.
you have a long way to go.
You think?
Yeah.
So you think I'm young?
Yeah.
Nimi! Aap batao, Sonu! Huh.
So then I decided to be a journalist. I joined a couple of news channels and realized that
Which ones? Tell us.
No!
Don't fast forward it, yaar.
Okay, so I was an intern, a trainee at Aaj Tak, and then
Wow.
you realized, wow, and then I joined Times
Did you
Now.
do any of the mad stories about, crazy Swami?
I did a
whose soul
Rakhi
is in the
Sawant interview.
Pomeranian?
I did a Rakhi Sawant
Oh,
interview.
Rakhi Sawant.
She made me wait at her place till 2 in the night. This was 2005.
Oh
She made me
my
stay.
God, what does that mean?
And she wanted an exclusive interview. This was apparently the same time that Mika kissed her forcefully. That was the time. So I was following Mika
that
and Rakhi
controversy
Sawant.
was the biggest controversy till Hrithik and Kangana. In the
Absolutely.
history
So
of
I
India.
followed both of them and I was following. So that was the biggest story that I did
So
for
you went to a
Aaj Tak.
house?
Yes, I did. I went to Mika. I followed Mika also. Mika
You went to
Paji.
Mika's house?
No, I didn't go to Mika's house.
Okay. Well, let's first, so Rakhi, you went to Rakhi's house and you
I went to
interviewed her.
Raki's house. I was and interviewed her, and then I said, "This is not what I want to
Why
do." But
two
it
in
was
the-
fun. It was fun
But Rana, why 2 in the morning?
because she kept me waiting, and she kept
Achha,
me
so
waiting.
you were there for some time and she just didn't come to...
She just didn't come to see me there because
But
thought
she was in the house?
She was in the house, yeah.
What was she doing? Makeup?
I guess, or she was perhaps checking with Mika what to speak on the interview.
Yeah. Don't repeat the dialogue. Yeah, correct. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
there could be a defamation. I mean, that's the last
So what did
defamation
you
I
ask
want.
her?
I
Let's-
said, I asked her, I mean, I don't even remember, but it was something like...
I remember there was a party
And he kissed her
he
forcefully.
tried to kiss her while the cake was being cut.
And
or
she said,
something.
she said that she was molested, etc.
Yeah.
So...
But she ate the cake, in the picture. Huh.
I should be politically correct right now. I just
Don't
realized
be
the
politically
case
correct.
of...
So, no, one sec. So she said that he molested her or whatever, kissed her. And what would you ask her? You asked her to recount the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, like a typical television journalist, it was so cheap. Now that I realized it was very cheap. Anyway, so I
Did
just...
you believe her?
I was just a journalist. I was taking both the sides and I was giving it to the world. I have no reasons to
So you
believe
didn't make any judgment call on this?
Not at all.
You heard his version, her version?
Yeah.
But
and then apparently they kissed and made up later. So
after 5,000 miles of publicity on all the
they kissed
channels,
and made up later. So
everybody was very happy.
my judgment meant nothing as it is.
Did you feel like a failure after that?
No,
Because you had
I
met
just
these
wanted
two
to leave the channel ASAP because I wanted to do something better in life. And then I went from one to the other. And
note to self, Mika and Rakhi Sawant chased you out of electronic journalism.
I think that's a good one.
That's the truth.
And I did not see it from that perspective.
If it was another story, it would have been fine, but you just couldn't digest this after some time.
Absolutely.
So then second one, you said you went to a second channel.
I joined Times Now and I was working with Arnab. and I left that in 2 months again. And again, we are not talking about that. We are not talking about those 2 months. Then I joined.
Please.
No. That's not about talking.
How was it like working with what should we call the liberal face of India's journalism?
I don't know, but I couldn't stay there. I mean, I couldn't stay there for more than 2 months.
Is it true that he's a different man on the thing?
He actually is quite a sober guy. He's actually a quite dignified guy when he's not on camera. So I thought he was very dignified till I saw him on television and I saw his rants every day. So I thought this is not.
Then you missed Rakhi and Mika. You said they were not so bad. I don't mind meeting them again.
I am not saying anything. He's putting words in my mouth. And then I joined ANI, and then finally I found the job that I've been craving for, Tehelka, which is the independent.
This is early days of Tehelka.
This is early days.
I joined
Tehelka. They were still. I mean, they were not. They were going well. They had just transformed into the magazine format from the website. This was 2007.
Also, the chap they had, if I remember correctly, was they were like the standard for taking on principles and speaking for the people who could
also
speak for
taking
themselves.
the high moral ground and minorities of social justice,
indignation, all that. Yes.
So I joined them in 2007 and there was no looking back. I quit only in 2013 when the entire molestation...
We'll come to that. Let's go slowly. So 2007 you joined them. The magazine format is out.
Yes.
And you start covering stories.
Yes.
Okay.
And my first interview was with Raj Thackeray. First interview, day week 1.
Listen, I want to tell you, I'm now feeling very bad. Between Rakhi Sawant,
and Raj Thackeray.
Mika, Arnab and now Raj Thackeray. I'm thinking, what did you do? What did this poor girl do?
To deserve this, right? To deserve this, yeah. And the first interview, Raj Thackeray asked me to leave his house because midway through the interview, so we carried the interview just like that. Raj Thackeray walks out of the house.
Oh, you shot it as well?
No, I didn't shoot it, but it was, I had it on the recorder. So I asked him,
why did he get offended?
Yeah, he asked me a couple of questions. He said, Marathi madhe bola. I know Marathi, but I can't be forced to speak in a language that I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll speak in Hindi.
Yeah.
And he kept on and on. And I said something about his comparisons with UP walas and Maharashtrian. He said, how dare you? And I said, but yeah, he said, you're a UP wala. I said, yeah, I'm a proud UP wala. And then, of course, he said, just leave my house. I said, you girls don't know how to answer. He said, and he said something like, he said, आपके पास कोई पेन और पेपर भी नहीं, आप क्या लिख रहा हो, कुछ पता भी नहीं, कुछ भी छाप दोगे.
But you had a recorder.
Yeah, I did. But
technology.
Yeah, well, he didn't.
But what I like about our politicians when they tell you Tamiz se baat karo, that's the hilarity isn't that.
Yeah, but asking me to leave the house was a bit much. Asking me to leave the house was very humiliating.
And also,
but the interview was a cracker of an interview.
Really?
I mean, it was like a parody account of Trump in a way.
Yeah.
But it was terrific. I mean, the kind of answers that he gave was so nonsensical, talking about his fascination for Hitler.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, so that made headlines, and that was the first interview of Tehelka, and that also got me in the list.
And you suddenly got noticed.
I suddenly got noticed for the first time after Rakhi and Mika.
A bit. So, Tarun Tejpal, what was he like?
Great. I mean, for me, at that point of time, he was
strictly
great.
As a journalist.
As a journalist, a great professional. As a great professional, the first day I got into Tehelka, he said, "Sky's the limit." He forced me.
He backed you when you take on all these big names and you're willing to, court
till such time that I went undercover and did the biggest story. That's when he asked me to take step. But till such time that I was there for about 6 years.
When do you get the guts to do this? I was just thinking, I would not want to go to Raj Thackeray and ask him questions and provoke him slightly.
I went undercover for 8 months. I think I needed more guts for that. And Raj Thackeray is actually nothing compared to
now
that in my
hindsight,
career.
But I'm
in hindsight, no.
This was the first big step. You meet a politician, the guy is known for his, what's the right...
Actually, I was very fascinated by him. So which is why the interview... I don't know why. I was very fascinated
by him. But you were not scared at all?
I was not scared. I was fascinated. I don't know. Ever since I've entered journalism, I've not been scared. I mean, I think there's something wrong with me. But anyway, we can talk about that later.
It's fantastic that we have some fearless people. I'm scared. I'm
Are you
scared of
scared of Raj
everything.
Thackeray?
I'm scared of Raj
Will
Thackre's
you
shadow.
call him for this podcast?
I would not. Marathi मध्ये बोल. मी काय बोलतो? I only know 5 phrases. Kurrecha pillu, Aizarya. I mean, I can only keep abusing. Then what do you think? How that will end that interview? Just let's.
He can speak in Marathi. You can do it in English.
Yeah. No, now his Hindi is very good. I've been listening to him doing
Okay, of
interviews.
course he speaks
Suddenly,
Hindi.
when they want to be a little bit more mainstream, Hindi appears very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we need to take a break, Rana, but we have to talk about all kinds of things. Of course, the story that made you a household name and the backlash of that. And then after that, I want to really look at this whole Tehelka story as well, if you have time.
All right.
We have Rana, Nimi, Sonu, they're all one person.
Oh.
Today's fast-hitting journalist is also a single 1 kilo, 100 gram child at one point.
Yeah.
We have pictures, but we can't show it because it's audio.
Of course not. Yeah.
Over 47% of online users in India have experienced harassment at some point. So if it's two of us inside this recording studio, chances are pretty high that one of us has faced abuse at some point. How do we tackle this? What do we need to do better? Come, let's learn together. Join me on Akanksha Against Harassment at IVM Podcasts every Thursday. Let's learn how to make online a safe place together.
All right, back here with Rana Ayyub, journalist, author, who's now telling us about her early days in Tehelka. She took on Raj Thackeray, she took on a few big names, and then what possessed her to perhaps go underground and do one of the biggest stories in the history of the world, if you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, so in 2010, I was basically writing on the Mumbai underworld, and I did this big series on MCOC. I was meeting gangsters from.
What is MCOC? You're talking like I'm part of your class.
Okay, let's not get there. Anyways, it's a draconian act. It's a draconian terror act. So I was doing this investigation. So I was interviewing a lot of these, drug lords and this Chota Shakil.
You really chose the best people of
I
India.
love
The list
them,
you've given me so far.
And the Dawood henchmen and the sharpshooters.
What did your dad say? He says there's not one. Why couldn't you go to Anup Jalota or Javed Akhtar or something? There's nothing like that.
Yeah, that's the kind of journalism my dad did. Interviewing Ali Sardar Jafri and Faiz Ahmed Faiz. That was so boring. I'm sorry. No.
You've got contempt on your face. Oh God. Please carry on. Yeah.
So I was doing all of this underworld stuff until I lost one of my friends who was a lawyer who was helping me in this case. He was shot dead. His name was Shahid Azmi.
Oh, he was your friend.
He was a dear friend of mine. So we lost him, and then I decided to leave Bombay for a bit. So we did this big cover story.
This is a Congress government, but
it was the Congress government.
I mean, central government.
Yeah, but I was covering BJP most of the time. For some reason, they thought that, okay, Muslim girls should cover the BJP.
Then all those dimensions come into it.
Yeah.
So
we did this big cover story with Amit Shah's face on the magazine, which says, "Why is this man still free?" And from the next day, my life wasn't the same. I mean, I had journalists calling me saying, "Can you get the
Tehelka cover?
This is the Tehelka cover story."
Did it sell well?
Very well. Only I was in Gujarat at that point of time, and all the magazine copies were removed from every possible stalls. So
how does that happen?
I haven't. It certainly happens.
Sold out.
But there was a very interesting story there. So around that evening, I messaged Tarun that they have taken the copies off the shelves, and you just send me a couple of say 30-40 copies so I can give it to the bureaucrats here. I called him at 9 in the evening.
But bureaucrats, who do you mean?
Bureaucrats in the government, people who are working.
In the Gujarat government?
In the Gujarat government, yeah.
Which is the BJP government?
Yeah, it was the BJP government.
And you give them these copies?
Of course. That's what journalism is all about.
And Nama was the chief minister?
Yes, he was the chief minister.
Rana, you're amazing.
No, not yet. Not yet.
I'm getting scared listening to your story.
No, not yet. So, at 9 in the evening, I write a mail and I call Tarun and I said, "Can you send the copies?" At 7:30 in the morning, the reception at my hotel calls me saying, "Ma'am, there's a courier for you." So I was in a slumber. I said, "Okay, it must be the courier." Then I tell myself, by no such of imagination can the copies come in so soon. I mean, with this speed, even with that blue dart. So I call the reception guy and tell him, "Listen, just hang on. I'm coming downstairs." I go downstairs. There's this guy with this big parcel. So I said, "Aapko Tehelka nahi bheja?" He said, "नहीं, ma'am, आपके लिए courier आया है." So I said, "Listen, this is not. There's no address." So the hotel manager was standing there. I said, "Can we just open in front of you?" So he said, we opened the packet. There were just stacks of 500 rupee notes.
Huh?
This is basically
like
a bribe to implicate me.
But what about demonetization?
Yeah, exactly 500 rupee notes.
It's a scam.
It's a total scam.
Ek saal mein jayega.
But this was 2010.
Correct.
So they tried to implicate me in a case. That
but what did you feel? Have you ever bribed before? I mean, like
not in your face like this.
Yeah.
I mean, there were better offers.
How much do you think it would have been?
I have no idea. I didn't check. Must have been around
Lakhs?
2-3 lakhs. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that meant, yeah.
But there was nothing with it. It was just
those
implicit
notes.
that you should understand.
And perhaps, yeah, no, also perhaps they were trying to implicate me in a case that this guy came to the hotel and she took money and they would have got blinded. So I told the manager, I'm not taking this, I'm sending it back.
But you can pay for my room and all with this.
That's why didn't I think of it earlier? Why didn't I think of it earlier? See, exactly, yeah. So
now, jokes apart, were you scared? Because
I wasn't scared even then.
Gujarat.
No, I wasn't scared. I swear I wasn't scared.
You slept well? You weren't worried?
No.
Your parents, nobody was worried?
From Gujarat, 2010, I started taking this. I got into this habit of taking sleeping pills every night because I stopped. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep normally. Thinking that, what is somebody just say, and my hotel was right next to the BJP headquarters in Gujarat, in Kanpur, and I had no idea.
All we can do is laugh. It's just a ridiculous story. Huh?
I thought it was a safer place because if you stay right next to them, they would not attack, as opposed to you staying in a very Muslim-dominated, very secular.
Actually, that's a smart idea. Yeah.
Do you think, right?
Yeah, I think it is,
Well. Yeah. So I stayed there.
What did your parents say? What did Tarun say? Nobody's worried for you?
No, I don't know why they weren't worried. There was nobody looking after me.
What the hell? They don't like you.
I don't think
I'm
like
for you.
me.
I met you for the first time.
I'm feeling so good right now. So
Tarun didn't say, okay, now back off, nothing.
No, I came back to Tehelka and I said, Tarun, there's a big story there.
How did it end then? Nothing happened to you? Nobody bothered you?
No, I gave it to the bureaucrats. Well, they all knew what was happening, but they didn't want to talk to me. I sent the copies by courier, but they didn't speak to me. I got a text message, which was very funny, and I wrote to the entire editorial, stop intimidating us. So it said, मैं आनंदी बेन हूँ, आपसे बात करना है. Anandi Ben was
to become the next CM.
So I clearly figured that somebody was trying to fix me up, that, she was doing the story at the behest of somebody else, so they used to get these messages. One message came saying, in Hindi, कि आप Kanpur में रह रहे हैं ना, आपसे मिल सकता हूँ क्या? Basically, they tell me that they know that.
So they get a digital trail, so they can put together some story.
Absolutely. So I left for Delhi. I said, I can't stay here anymore. I have to leave for Delhi. I left for Delhi and I went back and I said, Tarun, there is a lot more that needs to be done. Never has it happened that a journalist does a story and the minister actually goes behind bars. We all do investigations, nothing happens. And quickly, right, within a month. So he went behind bars, and Outlook called the story as 20 greatest magazine stories across the globe ever done. So for me, it was a big thing, and I got a kick, alright? So I said, okay, let me just explore what more can I do here. So I went to Tarun, I said, why not go undercover? I said, there's a lot more that needs to be done. I think I can move around with a great deal of ease. We said, Rana, you can't go undercover now. It's very difficult.
Face is known.
Not just my face was still not known to anyone. I had a social media identity, but I did not have my face. Nobody knew how it looked like. They were still writing to me after the Amit Shah expose, talking to a certain Mr. Ayyub. So, and even on the website, they didn't have a mugshot of me. So nobody knew what it looked like. So, Tarun said, I think this sounds like a great thing. Just go ahead. So I took this name of this girl called Maithili Tyagi. So a friend of mine, she was working in LA. She was part of the American Film Institute Conservatory, and we used to talk every day. So of course, I did not tell her, but I managed to get a identity card.
You pretended to be this name.
I did not pretend to be her, but I got this other name, Maithili Tyagi. So Maithili was the other name of Sita. So I was trying to be more religious for the audience because I was going to be this right-wing filmmaker. So if I have to appeal to those people, I should also
So you
come
played
across
this
as
character
somebody.
literally.
Yes. So I played Maithili, and Tyagi was this OBC surname. It's not Dalit and not Brahmin.
So
somewhere
you
in
take
between.
out the caste reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was trying to, and I became Maithili Tyagi. I put on lenses, straightened my hair, makeup, a fake American accent. I mean, it was so fake that
Let's hear it.
No, please don't. It's
just say.
Gujarati is okay.
Your NRI New Jersey returned.
Totally.
Slightly, I got American accent. Okay.
Totally American accent. So there was this French guy who was interning with us. I got him on board. I said, you can be my assistant filmmaker. If you're a Firangora face, I'll get that acceptability.
People got the credibility once you have the chap of the foreigner.
And there was this pastry chef from Greenland who was working. Who was staying at the foundation where I got a room. So she became the second assistant.
Superb.
And we would go around town in Gujarat, with our cameras, filming people, like typical tourists going to Kanpur Darwaza, going to museum. And then we started. So we started shooting item numbers of this father-son duo who were, big Gujarati filmmakers, Hitu and Naresh Kanodia, big guys in Gujarat. So we went to them and said, we want to be this, we want to shoot about Gujarat, all these great things about Gujarat. And we used to accompany them on shoots every day. And God, how nauseating was it? Every day, one item number with a 70-year-old man who would pretend to be a 20-year-old guy with all this, police uniform, and the son would be the bad guy. It was horrible. We did this for 1 month. So by then...
You needed your cover.
Yeah, and so by then everybody thought, thought, okay, this girl is sorted. I mean, she's actually a filmmaker, a very naive girl who's shooting these bloody Gujarati filmmakers for the last 1 month. And they in turn got us into the social circles. They introduced us to the first police officer, and from then on to then one to the other.
And then you tape these guys clandestinely.
So I had about 7 cameras on me at any given point of time.
Saying?
So I had a kurta.
I wish we could use you for our Bakra show, because we used to have such trouble.
Do you still do Bakra? Listen, I used to be.
But
can we start doing that?
We should learn from you, because you have 7 cameras in one person. I had a team of 30 people and to hide them all the time.
Imagine.
Just see what they can do. One person
saved so much money.
Your footage would have been better and sometimes funnier, I dare say. Huh?
So we used to have the camera used to be in the pashmina kurta, and the wire would be somewhere towards the end. So if I'd shoot for more than an hour, it would heat up, alright? So I'd start doing this. And I'd just go to the washroom, and that was very tricky. And there was a camera in my watch, there was a camera in my earring, something in my shoes, something in my diary.
And you check the footage every day?
Every day I would download them in my laptop, then charge each one of those equipments again. And from
Rakhi Sawant and Mika, she's come a long way, beta. Well done.
Rakhi Sawant will be so proud of me.
I know.
Yeah.
Or if you had just stayed with them, a lot of people would have been happier.
Yeah.
So then you put together 8 months of confessions, candid confessions,
Absolutely.
people talking openly.
I mean, nobody.
And what did you say to, what did Tarun say by now?
So by then,
which year are we talking about now?
We're talking about 2010 end and 2011 beginning.
Okay, but still a Congress government, yeah.
Yes, still a Congress government. So of course, also the narratives which I got from the officers was also not convenient to the Congress, as it was not convenient to the BJP.
People look the other way, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, the story was that, for me, it was not a Congress-BJP story. For me, both of them were equally complicit. And for me, over the years, both Congress and BJP have been complicit in these cases. So, I don't know what was the reason that Tehelka decided not to publish it. So, throughout the investigation, I would keep sending them the transcript saying, okay, this is what I did today. And Tarun would respond back saying, excellent, phenomenal. This is
You still have the tapes?
I do have the tapes, yeah.
You have them, not Tehelka.
Tehelka has a master copy. I also have a copy.
But if you went to a foreign publication, they would do it?
Well, I went to foreign publications, and I think they still do not have it in them to publish anything against Modi as big as this.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious. So from 2013, from the time I left Tehelka, 2011 was the one I came back with the investigation. Tehelka said they can't publish it. I went to a publisher. She chickened out. I had a book deal with one of the biggest publication houses in India. They stopped taking my calls in 2014 for a good 1 month.
But by 2014, I understand.
Yeah.
This is more difficult. Yeah.
But then 2015, I got another publisher on board. They stopped taking my calls after 2 months, and then I decided to self-publish the book. So 2016 May, I self-published the book in Delhi, and I thought, पर यार कोई भी नहीं आएगा book launch के लिए, because it's a very controversial book. I'm self-publishing it. I don't have a machinery. I don't have publicity machinery.
PR people,
nothing. So I got my entire khandan from Bombay. I said, guys, at least you will occupy the front seats. It was the IIC in Delhi. And for a hall meant for 100 people, there were about 600 people in
who are these people who came?
Every possible editor, every possible journalist,
serious?
every possible
so
academic.
People from the mainstream came?
People from the mainstream. I mean, almost all news channels.
So they were all curious.
They were very curious.
They didn't want to back you out of fear, but they were all curious.
And they were... Every possible politician in the country was sitting in the first row.
Are you serious?
And so I called up somebody. I said, listen, there are a lot of Congressy politicians. I wanted to push them at the back because I don't want this to be seen as a...
Look, sponsored by them.
Yeah, exactly. And I had not even invited them. And I saw them as like the biggest names in the Congress and the Communist Party and the left and the MIM all turning up. And I said, listen, I didn't call them. So I asked one of the guys who was helping me, I said, inko piche kar do, because it's not...
It would have been like the Kanaya issue. You suddenly become an emblem for everybody, huh?
I have no idea. And then everybody, they all gave me a standing ovation. I said, okay, next day, tomorrow, this is going to be the headline in every newspaper. Sensational revelations. Not bloody one story the next day. Bloody one story the next day in the newspaper. And this went entire night.
Wow.
Every editor was messaging me, Rana, you're the bravest girl, sensational. This is going to shake the country. But bloody nobody was carrying it the next day. And we're all scared. So I said, okay, I do realize.
Welcome to India. Check your passport in here and enter at your own risk. What a story, yeah.
So yes, and all of this happened. But still, from that day to this day, I've done some 500 events. I've gone to colleges, universities, every possible space where I can possibly can. And I've sold a lot more copies than any mainstream publisher would. We have sold about 2 lakh copies in 13 languages.
Have you sold in Gujarat?
We have sold a lot of copies in Gujarat, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have time, unfortunately. I want to hear so much from you. Another controversy that happened was this whole Tejpal, what is it, sex fiasco, whatever you want to call it. You were in the middle of that in a sense, because by now you're the hot property of the publication. And you...
They did not even tell me. I mean, so they were all very upset. So I was
Were you in Goa?
No, I was in Goa for 1 day. And it didn't look like something of this sort had actually happened. So I was based in Bombay those days. I still am, but those days I'd returned to Bombay, although I was staying in Delhi. So I went to Delhi. I was in a leave. I was writing my books. So I went to Delhi, and the atmosphere in the office was quite tense. And I was there to actually, I was getting the tapes of Amit Shah and Modi in September.
With your own battle, and this is happening in the background.
And suddenly I enter the office and I realize that nobody's excited about the story. So I go to Shoma, who was the second in command, and Tarun is like, yo, there's a crisis and we will handle this. I said, what happened? He said, nothing, there's a crisis, you will handle it. I said, okay, I'm going to get the tapes because there's a really important tape. So I go to this bureaucrat's place in the evening, and he's going to get the tapes, and this television set is on. Suddenly he looks at me and says, udhar dekho. And the udhar dekho, when I said, Tarun Tejpal caught in a molestation case, I said, sir, main baad mein aati hu.
Your life has been fantastic, I must say.
And I returned
Wrong
to
place,
office.
right time. Huh?
And I returned to office, and there were the office guys just outside in the smoking area. Now everybody's smoking. I said, guys, tell me what happened, and who's this girl, and what happened suddenly? They said, go inside, Shuma will tell you. And I went inside, and of course, by then news channels were already there. And the next day I resigned because I realized it was getting. I mean.
But why did you resign?
I resigned because. For me,
But didn't you want to find out what really happened?
I would have wanted to find out, but if only the editors had said the matter is sub judice, Tehelka will function independently. We do not have to influence this investigation.
You felt it was all good coming apart?
I thought it was coming apart because the entire narrative in the office at that point of time was to save Tarun Tejpal and not save Tehelka. Or save an individual. For me, Tehelka was not about an individual, it was an organization. And if Tarun Tejpal was guilty, then the law should take its own course. But it did not seem like that. It felt like there was a campaign. It was a boys' club was trying to come together, and it was in a way to just.
And you were the only journalist trying to file stories.
Exactly, and I actually had a bloody tape on me.
And the biggest story of the country, in a sense.
Yeah,
and they're more worried about saving
they said, and ironically, they said, we have these tapes about Amit Shah snooping on this woman. So why didn't you do an op-ed on that? I said, hang on, we have a case of molestation against the editor-in-chief.
At the same time, they wanted to go after somebody.
Are you out of your mind? So I resigned the next day. I said, dude, I can't do this. I came back to Bombay. I switched off my phone for 2 days. And the OB vans were parked outside my residence. Times of India had this story. Rana Ayyub resigns from Tehelka. I said, guys, just...
So they thought now that it's got something to do with Tarun and this molestation. Right?
Yeah,
obviously people are doing do punch and moving on.
So I wrote 2 tweets saying, I said because due to ethical reasons I can no longer continue with this organization. It was heartbreaking for me because I spent 7 years in that organization.
Nobody had to stop you? You being the golden girl?
I in fact...
Shoma, right? She didn't say...
They
think about it, wait, let us just get over this. Nothing.
They were completely shattered. They were fighting their own battle. I mean, their entire television media, they couldn't think straight. Also, I had switched off my phone for 2 days. I said, I don't want to listen to anybody. This is my resignation.
Did you watch the case unfold?
I did watch it on TV, and I saw all these ex-employees going on television talking, and I was not very comfortable as a journalist from an organization.
What would you say if I had asked you about the situation? What would you say? Because you're from there.
I would say the matter is sub judice. I said
it's not your business.
It is my business. If I want the girl to get justice. If wrong has been done to her, there should be justice. But it has to follow the legal procedure.
But it's not possible that she could have lied? I'm just asking. Don't get angry with me.
I'm
just asking because now there are a lot of people out there, they point fingers, this and the other.
Well, if she had lied, I mean, the only thing that, I was thinking about it and said, if she had lied, then why would Tarun Tejpal send a mail to her apologizing? Which means there was something wrong there. I mean, for me, that was a big... I mean, I don't know what are the facts of the case. I mean, I tried to, but I could not. And because it was everybody had their own biases.
You never spoke to anybody after that about
I did not speak to anybody after that.
Left and came
I sent a message to the girl saying... just hang in there and, you'll be fine and I hope justice will happen. I just like a one-line message to her.
Are you still in touch with all these people?
I'm not in touch with almost anybody from Tehelka. I've not checked the website since the day I left. I've not been able to check the website. I'm being very serious when I say that because it was a part of me. Tehelka was a part of my DNA. It was the way every morning I used to get up and it's like, this week cover has to be this big story.
You found your place because as a person who's trying to tell the truth and all that, I think you found your place.
It was the only place in the country where one could actually get away doing great stories. And finally that place was taken away from me. And then right after this big newspaper in the country calls me, says, now you've left Tehelka, you could work for us. I go for an interview. And this editor sitting in this office in Delhi, he calls me like, yaar, Rana, Tehelka was not your place. You belong here to us. So I said, acha, matlab job, naukri mil rahi, chalo, achhi baat hai, naukri mil rahi hai. He said, yeah, listen, it's, we must tell you one thing. You know,
Rules.
Rules. You're such a phenomenal journalist. Why just focus on Modi? Let's say, 2014 is going to be Prime Minister. Let's assume that there are better people to talk about. There are other stories that you can work on. So basically, in as many words,
your first warning letter.
The first warning letter. So I just looked at that because he also happened to be a friend. I took his name and I said, dude, I'm not into pimping yet. So, and then of course I've been jobless since, but I do write my columns, occasional columns, and the book has done well for me. So I've been able to repay my loans and life is good so far.
Well, Rana, thank you so much, but we run out of time about 10 minutes ago, I've been told, but it's very interesting talking to you. I feel like my whole life is empty. I've done nothing. Look at what all you've
done Bakra.
Yeah, I have.
Dude, I
it's
grew
all
up
fun
in
and games.
Bakra.
Look at you, you're dodging bullets, literally. For us, it's all fun
Listen,
and games.
don't scare me now. I'm not dodging
I take
bullets.
that back. But what courage it takes to do what you've done. I'm really scared listening to your stories.
Really?
To sit there outside the BJP
suddenly
office
feeling good.
in a hotel nearby and wow. The closest I've come to courage is once in the cold, I jumped into a water. In a swimming pool.
Now, that is courage.
That
totally
also
is courage.
kuch hai usme. You should not belittle that. Yeah. Rana, thank you. But we have the AMAs coming up and you're going to be there. Now, what is the AMAs? I'll let you know in a second.
All right.
Tired of the shrill madness of primetime television?
Can't make sense of your morning newspaper anymore?
Then take a break to delve into some real conversations about policy, politics and economics.
Join me, Pavan Srinath,
And me, Hamsini Hariharan.
as we analyze news and views from India and the world and talk to experts on a wide range of issues on the Pragati podcast.
Episodes out every fortnight.
You can find us on the IBM Podcasts app or wherever else you get your podcasts from.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right, here we've got Rana still with us, Rana Ayyub, famous journalist. And we've got Naveen, who's a, comic.
Nothing, yeah.
Did you like the introduction? Was it nice?
No, I'm glad with that, yeah.
Oh, sweet boy. Come.
Okay, so AMA time. Hello,
We're
Rana.
going to ask you questions you've never been asked before. Really stupid ones, yeah.
Okay. Cyrus, it's Guru Parv today, and my landlord, who is a Sikh, has been playing bhajans and I don't understand anything on a loudspeaker all day long. I'm damn fried. Please tell me what to do.
Listen, we live in a country where we have to live with everyone. Please don't get me into any controversy. For that, you need Rana.
What did you just ask?
So his question is that...
I heard
okay,
that.
No,
Basically, the guy's playing bhajans.
I love Gurbanis.
Okay,
that settles the matter.
so
Totally.
we can't help you, man. Sorry.
No, if the sound affects anybody, there are ways to stop it. You can leave.
I think his bigger problem is like he can't understand anything on the loudspeaker. If he did understand, he
I did not understand the Galian Sakli Sonachi that they used to play when I was a kid, and all those
Yeah.
things. But yeah, we got used to them, right?
It means
It's in
golden
India.
necklace in the neck.
Oh.
Are you going to discuss the lyrics now for the next 15 minutes?
I'm educating her.
I'm just trying to say, if you don't like any sound anywhere... all
Oh,
you
there's
do-
a golden necklace in the neck.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Dedi.
basically it means ki golden necklace
Ye
in the neck.
bori ko nachi.
Whose girl is this?
Oh, so
Whose
she's,
girl is
she's a
this?
privileged one because she
Yeah.
has a golden necklace.
Yeah.
in the neck.
Correct.
Correct,
Rana, the great
Saala,
investigative
yaar,
journalist
ye kya
of
bakwas
21st
hai, yaar?
century. You know, listening to the lyrics of one of the famous folk songs in
Yeah.
Konkani, isn't
And
it?
all the prose that follows afterwards is all about like your father's black, your mom's black.
Yeah.
How are you?
How are you white?
Racist.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's all,
absolutely.
it's all like
Yeah.
racist.
Bapu
sexist.
se gora.
Bapu's, your mom is kani, your bap is
Kala.
kala.
तो
How do you?
मतलब वो बाप दे रही है कि नहीं?
But you know, you can skip
Whose
a
child are
generation
you?
genes. You should ask grandfather. You didn't ask grandfather. You're mistaking the song. Anyway, I hope he
Yeah.
almost answered his question.
Yeah.
I was just trying to say that if you don't like sound or anything
Yeah.
else, there are ways to drown out
If
sound.
they play bhajan, you play Galian Sakli.
Try the two-pillow technique.
Oh,
The two-pillow technique. You take two pillows, put it on your head and lie on the bed.
On your head, what?
I do it because the construction work in Malabar Hill happens all the time. People
over
are-
and done with.
After demonetization, people have a lot of black money, na? So they keep on doing reconstruction. We're sick with that sound. Tak, tak,
Or
tak,
fill
tak.
those pillow with 500 notes
Yeah.
and then stuff them in.
I kept all my old money, huh? You never know. Governments change.
The notes might come back.
Yes.
Okay, Cyrus, you spoke about the effects of Diwali on animals for 11 minutes, but failed to mention all other festivals of sacrifice. Isn't that biased? Prateek Gupta asks.
Yeah, to each his own. I'm not going to get into here and pick. What is the religious fights that are starting
Yeah,
around?
when was the last time beef caused bronchitis here? Really? Or for that matter, any other meat caused
The listeners
bronchitis?
are getting political now.
Yeah.
I'm getting very worried that we are being set up by these questions, like exactly like Rana mentioned. in
Yeah,
the
you're
interview.
setting me up here.
Because they're going to provoke you into answering. Either way you answer like a bad chess match, you're not going to lose. So I will take the fifth on this one, and I will allow her.
I just answered the question. I said beef does not cause bronchitis. I mean, but pollution.
So fight with Rana.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this for a second. No, because animal sacrifice is something that people obviously like. This is a very debated topic in this country in general, and for a lot of people, it's a religious aspect.
See, I don't have credibility in this because as a hardcore non-vegetarian who loves animals, I'm a complete hypocrite and fraud.
Yeah.
Because until I give up non-veg food, I'm not the right person.
But it comes
to
from
talk
a place
about
of
this.
worship as well. Like the scriptures and all dictate the food consumption and everything. Like I was watching this documentary on Netflix, and it explains how people have this ethereal connection with food, like animals, and they thank them for that. It's not like in the worst times of
There are different ways to skin a cat and look at things. Like
so it's a
philosophy
legacy
is
that's
always there to
continued.
make you feel better about something.
That's for
Find
eating.
some reason.
I mean,
eating
like,
and killing.
style.
There's always reasons for killing also. Don't worry. I'll give you 30 reasons to kill.
So this argument will never.
But let Rana take these. Now she's the award-winning journalist. I'm the idiot.
This is not about beef consumption here. I get up. I mean, I eat bheja fry every morning.
Really?
I do.
I'm a big fan.
delicious.
But
I
we
love
shouldn't talk
bheja fry.
about it.
I'm a Pathan, yaar. What do you expect?
Oh, really?
I'm a Pathan, yeah.
Can you speak Pashto?
No, I can't.
What the hell, yeah?
I'm a Ghati.
Okay, stop it.
But did you enjoy Kudda Gawa when you watched it?
See, I'm not that Pathan. I'm Pathan by
I'm saying-
lineage.
I'm talking
I
about
don't
in
speak
terms
on the
of,
Ghatia language. I'm sorry, not Ghatia language. What did I just say?
Can you not alienate more communities? We've done about 7 already. Let's leave a few now.
Okay, let's not talk about the Pashtuns.
Okay, cool. Last one. If you had to choose one, what would you choose? Would you rather have bad hair or a bad teeth day?
Right now, I'll take any hair.
You have enough hair.
No, Baba, it's going every day. Is two pieces of hair I find on the pillow.
I've started a Richfield treatment for my hair very recently.
What's a Richfield treatment?
It's a hair treatment, homeopathy hair treatment.
Okay.
So I do with good hair.
So
But
homeopathy
you
works
take
on hair.
pills or you put it in the hair?
I take pills.
Then I don't mind.
Yeah, I just didn't. Listen, did I just advertise Richfield?
Yeah.
And
Shit,
homeopathy at the
I
same
need
time.
money, yaar. I need money for
Richfield.
this.
Pesh karta hai. Richfield.
No, I need money
Pharmaceutical.
for this. I insist.
We will pitch to them.
Yeah.
2 pills, 1 hair.
Okay, last one. Why do you think there's a notion that right hand is clean and left hand is dirty? That's only in Indian culture.
Yeah.
AB asks.
Okay, this you have to answer because you know more about culture than all of us.
I'm not-
Why do
I'm not the least
have you
bit
noticed-
cultured.
Have you noticed people don't like to take money from their left hand? Why do we do this? I've seen a guy get angry when you give money with the right hand.
I've never really focused on my left hand, actually. It's more the upbringing, I guess.
Only Sitaram Yechuri told me that he likes to use his left hand, but that's a different story altogether.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why we use the right hand?
I don't know, perhaps we have not
In
put
the
the left
epics.
hand to good use here.
I don't know. I always
Have you ever tried to slap with the left hand? So
You
it
know-
doesn't happen with the same kind of intensity.
Correct.
The
No, that's-
right hand you can slap
that's your
with great
leading hand,
intensity.
leading hand.
Yeah.
But why don't we use the reverse, the backhand? That's another question. Why don't we use the backhand when we slap? Why
Good
only
question.
the forehand?
Good question.
There's so many questions that for
It will
some
hurt
reason
you
we don't
also
get to
because then the cheekbones will clash with the bones on your knuckles.
He has a logic,
What was
dude.
the question?
I have no idea. What was the question?
Yeah, it was about the right hand and left hand notion. Like left hand dirty, right hand clean.
I'll tell you what Sanjeev Kumar's character in Sholay told me. Don't say hands up. It's a tough one.
Okay, that makes no sense. And we'll end the AMAs
I
on
think
that.
we will.
Yes,
Not,
we should.
not a Sholay watcher.
I am a Sholay watcher, but that movie grew old. Like, it was a time where I enjoyed it.
Who are you, Harvey Weinstein, that you're going to sit here and criticize everybody else?
I'm not Harvey Weinstein.
You are Harvey
I'm not Harvey
Weinstein.
Weinstein.
Oh, you're more Kevin Spacey in
I'm-
that sense.
yeah, I'm
But I'm
more
not
Kevin
getting
Spacey.
into specifics. I'm talking about.
Are you Kevin Spacey?
Of course he is. My theory is,
Oh my God.
Rana, please correct me if I'm wrong, all successful men across the world, in all cultures, 1 out of 2 will be a predator. This is my
Why
statistic.
are you trying to give all successful women a clean sheet then? They could also
See,
be
I can't speak
predators.
for women
Nice.
because, of course, they can
Equality.
be without being sexist. I can't speak for.
I mean, if you
I'm
have
trying to-
equality in everything,
I'm
have
trying to
equality in
understand
this too.
Our people, that is the males, a little better because having been one.
I have a strong
for the first
feeling
30
that
years.
even women have those tendencies. Some
I'm
of
not
us
saying no.
do.
I'm not
I do
saying no.
not,
I'm not
but
saying
I'm
no.
sure others do.
I'm not. This guy has it. This guy has it.
इसका तो शक्ल पे दिखता है.
Doubt both है उसमें.
मैं अभी जा रहा हूँ अपनी शक्ल छुपाने के लिए.
Just turn around. I've heard that before. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी,
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस सेज है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.